pleasure to be here. I wanted to read you our letter that donates it because it tells you a little bit of the information about the Hickok belt. But before I did that, I wanted to recognize Ben Matheson. Come here, Ben. Ben's a long-time friend of mine. Yeah. And Ben, gosh, I don't know, 6 months or a year ago, I hollered at Ben, not thinking there was any chance of getting a Hickok belt because this is made from the actual mold of Mr. Hogan's Hickok belt. And Ben had a connection there that he had worked before for the USGA Museum, and I imposed on Ben and I said, hey, you think you can kind of help us out? And he said, hey, it'd be my pleasure to help you out. And Ben worked it, and I mean worked it for months and provided a status and paid it out of his own bank account, and we reimbursed him, but he did everything helping us get this Hickok belt. So give Ben a hand. Thanks for all your help. Our letter to the Ben Hogan Museum of Dublin reads, on behalf of the Ben Hogan Foundation, it is our pleasure to donate a replica of Mr. Hogan's famous Hickok belt as our 2013 gift to the Ben Hogan Museum of Dublin. The S. Ray Hickok Professional Athlete of the Year Award, known as the Hickok belt, was a trophy awarded for 27 years to the top professional athlete of the year in the United States. The trophy was an alligator skin belt with a solid gold buckle. Couldn't do the solid gold for y'all, but it is gold plated. Encrusted, and an encrusted 4-carat 800 milligram diamond and 26 gem chips. A long time ago, when gold didn't have that much value, it cost over $10,000 in the currency of its time to make. And its presentation was a major event in the sporting news of the day. For the first 21 years, from 1950 to 1970, it was awarded in Rochester at the annual Rochester Press Radio Club Dinner, an event that continues today. Mr. Hogan was the first of 3 golfers who would receive a Hickok belt when he won it in 1953. The last award was made in 1976. We hope this belt is proudly displayed and enjoyed by visitors to the Ben Hogan Museum of Dublin for many, many years to come. Now it's my pleasure to unveil your replica of the Hickok belt. That was the 4-carat diamond that was in it, and if you look close in it, you will see the other diamonds that are actually in the belt. 26 diamonds there.
Wow. Did he wear this out a lot?
And then this is, we replicated, this is real alligator. We replicated actually the belt as well as we could too. And this is the way the buckle was displayed with the alligator there.
Let me say on behalf of the museum, we would not be here today if it hadn't been for the Ben Hogan Foundation and the Ben Hogan family. And we have so many things to be so proud of, and you guys have made it possible. And now, to top what we already had is the most magnificent gifts that anybody could have received for a museum. We have something that's so spectacular and showy, and it will be such a huge attraction to our visitors. I don't know how to say thank you. There is no thank you for what you guys have done for us. But on behalf of the museum, that's all I know to say is thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
I want all of you to know that I'm so honored to be here, and I knew Mr. Hogan. As a kid, I used to watch him play at Colonial. My dad joined there in 1943. I never did meet him then, but I saw him a lot. But later I became a member at Shady Oaks, and I saw him all the time. I got acquainted with him, and he was a great man. I'll tell you, he would be so proud of what you all have, here in Dublin have done for him. I promise you that. And I think all of you have just done a marvelous job, and I know that Robert and the Ben Hogan Foundation have helped you a lot. And when Robert asked me to do this, as he said, I said I'd be happy to do it, but it was a labor of love for me. I think it's beautiful. I think it's an incredible thing, and I'm so happy that it's here, and I'm going to do everything I can to talk people into coming here to see this. It's not that far from Fort Worth or Dallas, and I think maybe we can publicize it more, but I'm happy to be here, and nice meeting all of you. And Robert, I thank you for your kind words, but thank you so much for letting me do this for you. Thank you.
You know, there's a lot of folks that come through here and they don't know what to expect. They've always followed Ben Hogan. They feel like that Ben Hogan's one of their heroes. And they come along sometimes, they're here because they see the building. Sometimes a friend has told them. But when they walk in, they're blown away. And through the help of the foundation and the friends in Fort Worth and the wonderful job that Karen's done down here, this is a very special place and something we're really proud of. And I think that as the future goes on, it'll just be more and more impressive. But thank you all for what y'all do. Thanks.
Let me say one more thank you to the First Lady of the Dublin Museums. All that most of us know about preservation and how to display history and to tell history is because of Mary Antis. And even through some kind of tough times that she's suffering with right now, this woman is our go-to, our mentor. She is the museums of Dublin. Thank you, Mary.
I always think my heart can't get fuller, and it does. And certainly the Historical Society is grateful to every one of you. Thank you for coming. And this is just more of just the most, well, I'm at a loss for words. It's awesome. It's magnificent. And like we just heard, from what I've read and studied and looked at, this would touch Mr. Hogan very, very much. And those of us who are here now working, we're going to work harder. Thank you all. Robert's fingerprints on here? That would be his story.
What are you wiping the wall for?
Yeah, that would be his story.
I should be preserving those for posterity.
Yes, there you go.
Are you gonna stay inside?
Yeah, really.
Okay, I may stay inside. I think I will. All right, does that look like that's nice and squared up? We can measure.
It's fine.
It looks good. You don't want to hold that anymore. Up. Okay.
We're good.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Look at that.
We've got to do it again.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
That's great.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yes.
The ones that they replaced it
Oh,
with.
Magical.
So when we got it painted and we brought it in here, I got the ruler and started measuring to be sure that we had it centered. And it is 5.5 inches from the edge all the way around. Now, what does that tell you about proportions? This girl saw it. She saw it. And we love it. We love it. Very creative and exactly right, Patty.
Yes.
That's just very nice.
Thank you.
Patty's another great addition to Dublin.
Yes.
Mike, would you come up here? I think probably you all know Mike McMahon, but he designed this display, and he and I work together. We're on the Historical Preservation Committee at Colonial Country Club, so we're very much involved in. We got the dye, the mold, I'll call it. We got the mold to get the buckle made, and in fact went through all. The original one was made for Colonial and is on display in the Ben Hogan room there. We got the buckle made, and we had a lot of photographs of the belt, but we didn't know how to get the belt made because every photograph was like you see it. The belt is folded around to the back, and we didn't know the dimensions of the belt. So I had an idea, and I got with Mike, and he knew a guy, and I had been in the home of Lee Trevino, and I'd seen his in his home, and it clicked. Maybe we could get him to let us come over to his home and open that belt up and let us measure it, because we didn't know how to actually get it made with the right dimensions. So we did get in contact with Lee Trevino, and we said we got the message to him, what we were doing and what we needed to do, and he was a great friend and supporter of Ben Hogan. And he said yes. He said, I'll be very happy to help you in any way I can. And we said, we'll come to your home in Dallas, or we'll invite you to come to Colonial, where he's an honorary member, and you can, play. He can play there anytime, but we could have a round of golf or whatever, have lunch. He said, well, I have a better idea. He said he loves to play at Diamond Oaks Country Club in Fort Worth. He said, I'll meet you at Diamond Oaks, and he said, I'll invite you and Mike to play golf, and I'll bring my Hickok belt over, and you can photograph it, you can measure it, you can do anything you want. So this particular morning, 2 summers ago, I believe it was, on an August morning, early, we were over there. He drives up, and he comes walking in the club with similar to what Robert had, but he had a big Turkish towel over his shoulder, and he comes walking in, and they have a pool table there, and he unfolded the thing and laid this beautiful belt out on this pool table. And the first time we'd ever seen the belt without it being folded like that. And Mike did all the measurements, photographs and everything, and from that moment, after that day, we knew how to make the belt, and that made it complete. We had the buckle, but we really didn't know how to do the belt. And of course, the original belt, as Robert said, was made from alligator, and this one is too, which is not very inexpensive. But everything about this is authentic, except it's not solid gold. And
does everyone know the story why we wanted to replicate the belt?
I don't know if everybody knows.
Well,
a lot of the board members do.
In the early 1990s, when Mr. Hogan was still alive, our trophy room at Hogan contained all of his awards, memorabilia. Unfortunately, one day, this was the original buckle and belt was stolen. And it ended up in a Fort Worth pawn shop. A lot of the precious stones were removed. And at the time, Colonial tried to replicate it to put it back in the trophy case. Well, Mr. Hogan's memorabilia and trophies were transferred to the United States Golf Association after his death at the request of Valerie Hogan. So we had no belt, but the USGA didn't have the belt either. But it was Ben who, the story around Hickok, they were purchased by the Tandy Corporation, which was a Fort Worth company. And Ben took that on and was able to find the original mold. And last year at the USGA, they had a robbery, and the only thing that was stolen was a trophy and the Hickok belt. So, but it's Ben that, was able to find the original mold. So there's now, I think, maybe 3 replicas. But we're really glad you got one of them.
Oh,